Hello everyone, my name is Lauren and welcome to the first episode of a brand new podcast called She Plays Games. Over the next weeks, months, and years, I hope to speak to a broad spectrum of women who are working within the video games industry to learn more about their amazing experiences and the paths they've taken to get to where they are today. Whether you're thinking about joining the video games industry or are just interested to learn more about the incredible women that I'll be speaking to, my goal is to inspire you through the telling of these stories. On today's episode, I'm talking to Sandra Chau. Sandra currently works for Square Enix as an export assistant product manager. And oddly enough, that's my connection to her as we first met a few years back at a Final Fantasy Theatrhythm event held at Square Enix's London offices. At this point, she was still looking in from the outside, but her love for the series knows no bounds. And it's incredible to see her now calling Square Enix her current place of employment. For the next half hour, you'll get to hear some great advice about working in the industry, how she got started, and so much more. Here's episode 1 of She Plays Games. Okay, so welcome our first guest. Welcome, San. Thank you so much for coming on the show, Sandra. It's awesome. You work at Square Enix. So how have things been the last few months? It seems like it would be crazy busy with everything happening at Square Enix at the moment.
Hi. Thanks for having me on. It is manic. I think since I joined in September last year. It has been non-stop, but in a good way. And it's crazy the amount of things that you kind of have to do, not just my own projects, but then supporting the other teams and getting a lot of the bigger titles out there whenever we need to, all hands on deck.
Sure.
Yeah, it's doing it. It's great. It's awesome.
So in the intro, we sort of explore a bit the fact that you are an export assistant product manager. Can we dive into a bit what exactly does that entail?
I'll have to break it into parts even. We'll go with the product manager side of it. So a lot of my day-to-day job is actually managing the individual products I'm assigned. So the products being the games. Some of the ones that I've worked on so far and have finished, like Nier Automata, the Game of the Year edition, Final Fantasy 10, 10-2, and 12 for the Switch. And helping out with the other bigger titles I mentioned. So there's Kingdom Hearts, Shadow of Tomb Raider, Just Cause 4. So that's part of it, making sure that from the marketing side, the products are managed from the beginning to the end and ensuring that we are communicating the product in the way that we should, in uniform with the other teams like brand and production and sales.
So you're this sort of communication type thing. You're just getting it all together and then regurgitating the information to the masses.
Kind of, yes. And also making sure that the marketing, this is the second part even. So on the export side, I deal specifically with all the other countries apart from Japan, UK, America, Germany, and France. So those territories, they have their own individual teams, and then our team on export deal with the rest of the world, which is a lot of countries.
Yeah, that's the whole rest of the world. Jeez.
Yeah, it's quite hard, but then we ensure that the marketing plans and the style of execution, the messaging, the assets are in line across all of these different countries. And, ultimately, when our products are going through the phases, through pre-order, through launch and post-launch, that everything we're doing is making sure that, fans, consumers are seeing and hearing about our games and hopefully potentially getting stuck in.
Yeah, definitely. How do you work with the different languages as well? Obviously, do you work with South America as well? Is that included in your sort of global outreach?
So South America is part of the North American team. So that's their entire territory.
So that's their thing. Oh, geez.
Yeah. So with the language side of it, what we do, we work with individual partners in these different countries.
Okay.
And obviously, they know their local territory much better than we would.
Sure.
No matter how much research we do. So we work with them in partnership to ensure that we're reaching people the best way possible. And then they help us with like localization and everything else. But we also have an internal localization team at Square Enix. So there's help wherever we need it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like that just seems so, if you don't have help, that just seems so daunting because like so many places they're so different, aren't they? Like there's so many different things like
even like sayings that we might have in English do not translate well or make any sense whatsoever in like countries such as Middle East or Russia, even Spain and Italy. They have their own little nuances and things that communicate better with the local people. So those are the concepts we have to take into consideration.
I remember like I had a friend who is Polish that I used to work with, and she like we could talk about movies together, but the trouble was that the movie title was completely different in her language versus our language. And it's like those kind of small things where I'm guessing like is Kingdom Hearts, is that a different title in different countries as well? Or is the English like quite universal?
As it stands for all the titles that we've worked on in this past year alone, their title be Kingdom Hearts 3, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, or whichever, that we tend to go with the exact English title. So in any of the messaging,
it kind of trumps everything.
It'll have Arabic text, and then you'll have Kingdom Hearts 3 and Arabic. But yeah, we do make sure that we keep it exactly as it is.
That would be the easier way of doing it, wouldn't it? Just like, all right, at least we have one language that we know. This game is going to be called the same thing in every country. Like, that's fine.
It makes it searching as well if you have to Google search for something.
Yeah. Like the SEO must just be absolutely, that's so much easier than having to do it in various languages. But that's just so impressive. I mean, so you've worked at other places before Square Enix. So with like Rising Star Games, were you doing something similar, or were you because you were still in marketing, weren't you?
Yeah. So when I was at Rising Star Games, that was how to explain it. My job title was quite another mouthful itself. Trying to remember the exact words, because that was CMS, CRM, marketing exec. I'm trying to remember the exact wording. It was, like I said, it was quite a mouthful. But all in all, Rising Star Games was a very small publisher, but we did amazing things. And as part of essentially the marketing team, because it was such a small team, we're talking 10 people in the entire business, we had to do whatever is needed to be done. So in that job, not only did I do a lot of like copywriting and support on the social media side of things, we also did a lot of in-house creative for like advertisements, video assets. And even when we received video games, like games developers are pitching to us, we also took part in the whole process of deciding whether or not we want to greenlight this on our side. So that was that's something I do miss from being at a small business to being in a larger business is, you get to do a bit of everything. And then being able to see that, being able to essentially input and decide, I'm behind this game, I believe in this game, and I will do everything I can to support it and get out there in the market. It's such a different feeling. I mean, I love the titles I work on. Fortunately, I'm a huge Square Enix fan, so it just ties in nicely.
I know.
But yeah, it is a very different feeling from being able to influence and decide whether or not we're doing this title to being given a title and say, okay, this is the one you're marketing. Yeah,
like that is the thing, isn't it, about being a smaller company? Like obviously, like Square Enix, there's just a lot going on.
Yeah, every team has their specialty. So I would not dabble into the PR side. I work with the PR team, but I would not get my hands gritty in the PR activity.
Yeah, definitely.
But I oversee it as the product manager to ensure that, okay, this is what PR is doing. This is how it's going to impact the rest of the marketing campaign.
Yeah.
So that's how it worked. Whereas at Rising Star Games, I mean, I was part of the PR team. So I had to also deal with streamers, media, press. I also went out to events. So the last event I went to before I left was PAX East, and supporting on site at the show, getting people excited about the game, talking to press, talking to devs. It was quite a big old job for a small team, but we made it work, and it was great. It was one of the best experiences I could ask for to get me to where I am today.
I mean, it's like one of those things where you could just like, it's like in sort of European countries with sport, like when you can try a bit of everything, pick what you want to sort of focus on. That's what it sort of sounds like. Like you got like a full rounded experience, didn't you?
Oh yeah, no, definitely. It definitely helped me affirm that marketing was the right path for me. But yeah, if I decided for some reason, actually, I kind of preferred the PR side of things, I'm sure that I would have had the opportunity to get training on it and develop my skills in PR if that was the case. So if there was anything I could tell people is don't think of just the big guys, even the experience you can get at smaller companies as well. I can talk about it from my job even before Rising Star Games. It actually helped me get my job at Square Enix, funny enough.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think it was one of the things that I think mentioned post my interview and me getting a job was because I come from this smaller publisher background and having done so many different tasks and having to work with, much more smaller budgets, things on a much smaller scale, but having to still get it out there on a large scale. It makes me think differently to, I guess, someone who only worked in bigger companies. So yeah, it definitely helped me get to where I am.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, before this, so you worked at Fail Better Games.
Yep.
That was an internship, was it?
Yep. So that was the first dive. That was my toe in the water, and it was one of the best things. How did this? Yeah, it was an internship. This is when Fail Better Games were based back in Greenwich, so quite closer to home. And they are a indie developer. One of their very famous titles is Sunless Sea, Fallen London. Oh man, those games, they are so good, so well written, and so
came out with.
Yeah, and I think Sunless Skies came out, and they continue to grow that market. It's amazing what they do, and I'm. Prior to that, I had a lot of experience as a marketer, but not in video games.
No.
So I was glad that they gave me the opportunity to come in to do this. It was a very short sort of time there, but I just sort of got stuck right in. Honestly, till this day, whenever I have a chance to speak with Hannah Flynn is the marketing manager at Fail Better Games. Whenever I see her or I see Hayley, who's now moved over to Mediatonic, I always say to them, I cannot thank you enough for what you have given me, the opportunities, and helped me to learn and develop. Again, great team, great experience. And they're not like massive. They're not huge, crazy, big developers. But oh my God, what I got out of it was incredible.
Yeah. No, definitely. So, I mean, I know that you were getting into marketing essentially with your job at Rising Star Games. Like you were focused on that. Did you intend to be in marketing like from the beginning, like before you started working at Fail Better as well?
Yeah. So going back, man, it makes me really think back to my time. Before that, I was actually a senior marketing exec in a business-to-business company called Smithers. They're based out in Surrey.
Sure.
That was essentially the beginning of my marketing career, and I was there for I think about 2 years, and it was a good sort of step because obviously I did marketing during university.
Sure.
That I kind of fell into. But it was just the best kind of thing. It let me be creative, but also, smart, I guess, in a way, putting business and creativity together. So that's what I got with marketing. And it just works quite nicely. It utilizes all of my strengths. And then as I obviously got there, I kind of thought, I'm actually quite good at this. It sounds weird to say it out loud. But yeah, I do feel like I'm actually an all right marketer.
It's good. It's good to be that, like, we're always like so humble about ourselves. Like, it's good to just say, I'm good at this.
Oh yeah, I mean, if I was not good at it, I don't think I would have gotten as far as I have. So I must be
Yeah.
doing something right.
No, you're amazing. No, it's incredible.
Oh, thank you.
But yeah, like, I mean, I find it so impressive what you guys are able to do as far as marketing, like how you're just able to keep it all going. And like, it is like a well-oiled machine, isn't it? Just how you have to get all the parts going, and just like the amount of electricity you must feel when things start happening and like campaigns start happening. It just must be so crazy.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. When you actually see the fruits of your labor, after all those months and even years of just planning and sort of back and forth, and then getting things approved and everything else, and then you see it live, and it worked. And even if it did not work, the fact that once it was live and it looks the way you want it to, the way that you envision it being. And then, you will get negativity, but then also the positivity. And you have to always remember that no matter what, this is a product, this is on you. It's like, I'm not, as not too extreme, but if it was like your children rely on you to grow up, to succeed. Same with these products. They're not going to succeed by themselves. You have to also nurture them and help them to grow and develop. And whatever comes of it, comes of it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's the thing, the beauty I find of marketing, because we're helping shape that at the forefront and reaching beyond just the organic things. So, the brand team, community team, PR team, they do a lot of amazing things, but all of that is very organic. But then, the people who might not necessarily be into the genre or that title, but could be into it, how can we reach them? And that's what we as marketers need to do. We need to help reach those people and then ensure that everyone else crosses the finishing line the way that we want them to. So yeah, it is a good feeling.
Oh, and we won't get much into it because I know we can't get the spoilers in. But how awesome does it feel to be like within the vicinity of the Final Fantasy VII remake? Like, just how does it feel to just be in its presence?
It's, what, when we are privy to some of I kid you not, the team keep everything under lock and key.
Yeah.
So even if I want to, you don't get to unless they're willing to share that with you. So when we do, there is that excitement. There's come on, let's see it, and the excitement is not just the people working it, everyone in the office. As soon as they get the chance to witness it, there's always a buzz, and it's rightfully so. It looks what everyone has seen
gorgeous.
So far from me. It looks beautiful, it looks incredible, and obviously as a fan, I've pre-ordered the first class edition. I had to pay for those as well. Man, I waited until E3 finished for the pre-orders go live, pre-ordered it, and then went to bed. And that was 5 a.m. I was so tired the next day.
Oh my gosh, you must have been.
It's totally worth it, because it'd been waiting for so long, and then here it is. It looks better than what I even wanted it to look. So
yeah, no, like, I mean, I didn't know how I wanted it to look until I saw it, and then I was just like, that's it. That's good. That's good for me.
Yep.
But yeah, I mean, so with that in mind, with Final Fantasy, was that one of the first games that you sort of got into when you were younger, or was there another first love in your life?
Well, I would say first true love was indeed Final Fantasy. It was Final Fantasy VIII.
Oh my God, me too.
That even till now, I will hold it closest to my heart no matter what. It shaped the gamer that I am today, really.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited for the remastered version that's coming soon.
Know. It looks so good.
Oh, you have no idea.
I don't.
So, and yeah, it's because it's coming on the Switch. I'm excited because that's the only time I ever fit in any gaming now. If it's not on the go, I do not have time to play games.
I know, it's such a shame, isn't it? Like, but no, that is the appealing thing about the Switch.
Yeah, absolutely. It definitely rekindled my gamer, because I think, I do a lot of sports and activity, so that takes up a lot of my time. So, I can't be at home. I have a PlayStation 4 Pro that's sitting here sadly catching dust because I'm not at home. It's hard. So the Switch has really let me be a gamer once again.
I know.
So yeah, about that. But no, I'm sorry, back on that question. Final Fantasy VIII was my first true love, but it was not the first game that, well, at least it wasn't the one that made me started me off as a gamer.
Sure.
The first game I owned and played and saw was Super Mario World on Nintendo. Yeah,
that so good.
It is so good. I have the SNES Mini and it's plugged in. I actually recently replayed that. It is, I don't care what people say, it still lives up to what it was back then. It's just an incredible game.
Oh, I missed out on the SNES. I'm really annoyed that I missed out on the SNES Mini, but Super Mario World, I used to play it actually at a friend's house because I owned the game, but I didn't own a SNES. I've never owned a SNES. And I just love running around on Yoshi. Like, it's just, it's so much fun. It's so much fun being little mini Mario and just eating eggs. Like, I love it.
Yeah, it is. Honestly, I'm replaying it again. It was some things I sort of don't really recall as well until I started playing it. I was like, oh yeah, there was that thing. And these sort of platform style games, they are so hard. I mean, just a small move and then you're off the edge and there you go. There's another life. I have wasted far too much green mushrooms trying to get through certain stages.
I know. Have you dabbled in the Super Mario Maker game?
Oh no, if I do that, I won't leave my house.
I know. But some of those levels, some of those levels though, they just look insane. Like, it's hard enough. I don't need freaking invisible barriers whacking me in the face. Like, this is just crazy.
I know when you watch these YouTube, the clips and the walkthroughs and everyone's doing them, you have to throw the shell at a specific time, jump on the shell continuously, then land on something and then miss this and then land. I'm like, I can't even pass a Super Mario World stage without losing HP, let alone one that have made.
I know. I feel like such a failure, but I still love it.
Well, good on you, Nola. Good on you. I cannot put myself through that.
I know. No, it's just crazy. But then, I mean, of course, you also have. Well, you're a big Pokemon fan as well, aren't you?
I do love me a bit of Pokemon. I do love me some Pokemon.
Are you excited for the next one?
You know what?
Sword and Shield.
I'm in two minds, right? Because this is the thing I said. I've got so little time to play video games now. I've got this long list of must plays and this list is quite long, and I've got so many games here still in their wrappers, including Assassin's Creed. And I'm so sad because I pre-ordered that on day one and I still have not opened it.
That's the worst. That's so bad I've done that.
So, I am excited, but at the same time, will I get around to playing it? I don't know if it'll be this year or next year or 10 years later.
It'll happen.
One day, eventually, yeah. But I still love my Pokemon. I can't wait when Uniqlo releases their t-shirt line. That might already have happened. But
the little Ditto shirt looks so cute, doesn't it?
Man, there's a Jigglypuff one which looks adorable. I'm digging it. I hate
to say that I'm sold on the cuteness. I'm still there in my little 10-year-old self being in love with Pokemon. Don't even care. I will buy all the Pokemon.
It doesn't even matter now. Pokemon transcends age. I mean,
it does.
Old, young, as long as you like it and you think, I'm loving this and it speaks to me. That's what matters. Who cares how old you are?
I will still hug the crap out of a Pokemon, out of a Pikachu mascot. I will still watch Detective Pikachu.
Oh my goodness. Great movie.
I know. I'm forever their girl. Forever their girl. But I mean, so you're an ambassador for Women in Games. So can you tell me a bit about how you got involved with them?
Yeah. Wow, man, this is also going back some time. I had this epiphany that what am I doing with myself? This is all, I was doing the usual, you leave uni, you get a job and it's all fine and dandy, you're making money. But, think of how much hours and time you spend at work, going to work, leaving work, stuck in traffic or whatever. That's a lot of hours. You probably spend more time doing that than at home. And it was like a real sad realization for me, because of my late father kind of said to me, do what makes you happy. And that's always stuck with me. So I was thinking, well, this doesn't make me happy. You know, life's way too short for that, and anything can happen. So I should be spending, if I'm going to be spending, you know, 10 plus hours a day in a week, because of my job, I may as well be doing it because it's something I really love. And that's when I took this leap and I said, you know what? I'm going to take a stab at it. I want to get into games. I need to chase the dream.
Yeah.
And, you know, part of that journey was research and, you know, how can I do it? It's not as easy as saying, yeah, I'm going to do it. So, you know, did my best to, increase my chances and probability. I did a lot of freelance. I did some freelance writing, some press writing. I went to a lot of networking events, and part of that was Women in Games. I saw that their conference was coming up in about September, which it kind of does almost every year. And I was like, okay, you know, tickets it's fairly pricey, but I saw the value in it. I saw the opportunity to network with women in the industry. I saw opportunity to speak to people who are already up there, be it HR, be it marketing managers, etc., and use the opportunity to kind of learn and get ideas and inspiration from them. So, you know, I took a stab at it. I booked my ticket. I went by myself. It was quite scary by myself.
Oh, bless you. Yeah. But sometimes it's better. Sometimes I feel like I get more confidence because I have to like really kick myself in the butt in order to talk to people.
Yeah, that is definitely the case. Because unless you are, you know, prepared to be by yourself all day and not talk to a single person, then okay, cool. But otherwise, you will speak to other people. And I met two amazing ladies when I was there. I believe it was my first year actually. And the first lady is Fitzy. She is now at Creative Assembly. At the time, we were both looking for opportunities to get into video games. And she's incredible. She is so friendly, and she introduced me to other people she spoke to. And I can fast forward a little bit. Over the years, I've met her at events. I met her at Gamescom, and we were both like, oh my God, we're both here. We both made it. And even now, like, I don't see her as much. We're both really busy. But, you know, when I get the opportunity to see her, it's like nothing changed. I'm so happy to have met her. And the other lady that I met, her name is Lorraine, and she's a voice artist. And she does amazing, incredible things, not just, you know, in her job, but also for other women in games to help support them and help them the opportunity to move onwards and upwards. So, yeah, you meet fantastic people, and that's how I got there. And then by my second time when I attended that, so you see, I've attended multiple times, they said, if you'd like to be an ambassador to, you know, see how you can get involved and how you can help get more women in games, then, you know, join and let's see what we can do. So, like, hell yeah, I did. At this point, I still wasn't in games. So this time I was still trying to get into games, but I sure as hell wanted to do what I can to increase those chances of more women involved and getting our visibility out there.
Yeah, definitely.
And that, yeah, I mean, a lot of it also includes some women like to get together, organize events to let other women get together to network, maybe on a social level, but even on maybe a professional level, to do some game jams. There's all sort of different things that women done. I myself like to use it as an opportunity to talk to other women who also aspire to get into games, because I've done it and I know how hard it was.
Yeah.
And without the people, my industry peers, and the support I got, you know, I probably wouldn't have gotten here. And the great thing about Women in Games is that they do a mentorship program. I couldn't get onto the mentorship program, but I did speak with the CEO of Women in Games, so Jenny Richards. I honestly, bottom of my heart, I thank her as well. She is incredible. I spoke to her and I said, you know, I'm not on the mentorship program, but I do really want to get into games. Do you have any advice you can give me? And then it's funny, she says to me, what kind of games do you like playing? And I was like, JRPGs, I guess, like Final Fantasy. And then she's like, okay. And then she got back in touch with me. She's like, I can't get you a female mentor. Are you okay with having a male mentor? And I was like, oh, okay. Like, I don't have an issue, be female or male, because as long as they're willing to take the time out of their day to help me to develop, you know, that is just incredible.
Yeah.
And then I said, no, absolutely, I have no issue with that. So she put me in touch with Ben Cusack, who at the time worked for Square Enix. He now runs his own studio called Viking Mobile Games, I believe it. Viking Mobile Games. But honestly, he, again, another person to help me on my journey, because through Via Women in Games, and that connection, he then again took time out of we didn't see each other often, once a month, once every couple of months, to help me develop my knowledge and understanding of working in the video games industry, and got me talking to people, helped me develop my CV, everything. He was a fantastic mentor.
Yeah.
And again, all of this because I took this leap of faith, bought that expensive ticket, went to the conference, and met these fantastic people at Women in Games that September.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, that's the thing. It just takes that group. It takes that sort of networking event to just see other people. I think sometimes it's like seeing is believing, isn't it? So going to these events and actually just talking to people who are kind of in the same realm as you or were in the same realm as you is just so important.
Yeah, exactly. And because of my previous experience in marketing, I know how valuable networking is.
Yeah.
So I made sure that I was there. And I've been to a number of other smaller scale events ran by just a group of ladies who are in the industry. So I've been to one for journalism as well.
Sure.
Because it's always really good to see what people like to talk about from a PR side of things. And yeah, the more people you meet, maybe down the line, you might not see them again, but maybe you do, because I've met so many incredible women from obviously over my time. And most recently, so I bumped into, her name's Kat. She's from Lick PR, if I'm trying to remember correctly.
Oh my God, Kat Osman.
Yeah, Kat Osman from Lick PR.
Kat Osman is brilliant. Oh, she's lovely.
Honestly, she's so fantastic. And I met her again at a Women in Games conference, and then again at when I was working at Rising Star Games, because she's also friends with one of my colleagues at the time.
Sure.
And then most recently, she obviously came into Square Enix for business, and I saw her, and I just ran up to her. We gave a big old hug.
Aww.
And it was just incredible. Again, people you might see, people you might not see.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. Everything counts.
Absolutely. Well, that's all the questions that I actually have at the moment. I mean, if we can end on any note, I mean, obviously you've given a lot of great advice by going to the conferences and going and meeting up with people and then starting out small. Is there any other advice that you want to offer to women who are thinking about joining the games industry and maybe haven't made the push yet?
Yeah, I think there are three things I would definitely highly advise. Is one, if you want to get into games, do it. Don't give up. And it's not going to be easy, but nothing in life that's worth having is easy. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, you just have to strive, and you're going to have to face some hurdles, but as long as you're willing to do that and make the effort, it will eventually come. So that's the first one. And the second one is what we would kind of talked about, is just about being brave, and just willing to take that plunge if that's actually what you want to do. And I think the last one, and this is something I've spoken with quite a few people about, is if you're already looking to go into games and then you start applying, especially if you're applying to your dream company or anything like that, remember that it's about the job first. Do not let your fanboy take over, because ultimately your employer is looking to hire you for your skills as be marketer, sales, brand manager, whoever you're applying for, they're looking for that skill. As a fan, you need to show that your passion will help you support, your skills and assets that you can bring. But do not let that take over the show when you're in your application or your interview stage. Hone it in a little bit, and once you're in there, you can slowly let it out.
Let it out in drips. Okay, today I will squeal at one video. All right, that's fine. Yeah, that's good.
But yeah, honestly, that's otherwise just keep doing what you do. That's what I say.
Yeah. No, it's fantastic. Thank you. Thank you so much, Sandra, for everything. This, yeah. I mean, this was amazing. Thank you so much.
No problem at all. Thank you for having me, Lauren.